This video here is all about the fact that there are scammers out there claiming Dr. Peter Attia has endorsed something to reverse memory loss, brain fog, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and he never did. And this is something that's been going around for a number of months. It's now April 2026, specifically about Neurodyne. And it is a dropper bottle product that has no backing from any doctors, hospitals, universities, or famous people of any kind. No one famous or anyone credible has ever endorsed this product, nor is there any evidence tying this product to a credible company. This appears, in my opinion, to look like a scam, the whole thing. I cannot say that Neurodyne itself is a scam, but I can say there's scam marketing like what you see here. I'm going to talk all about this. This is about Neurodyne reviews. If you're looking up Neurodyne and you want more information about the ingredients, where to buy it, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, whatever, which by the way, if you find it on those websites, it does not mean it's more legitimate. It just means third-party sellers are selling it, unlike Walmart.com. You're not going to find it at a Walmart store in your town. So I'll show you how this goes. First, you see an ad on social media. It then leads you to a website like this, which looks like CBS and 60 Minutes, but it's not CBS and 60 Minutes. It's a scam website pretending to be a CBS website with the graphics and everything. And they know they're going to fool some people. And it leads to this video here, but it says the forbidden protocol, why Big Pharma paid millions to bury Dr. Attia's memory discovery after DOJ document dump. Stanford researchers break silence on the 100% natural method that reverses dementia in 15 days. FDA grants record speed approval. None of that ever happened. These are scam claims. And there's other stuff going on about Peter Attia in the last several months having to do with certain federal case files for a famous convicted person who is not with us any longer, although some people think he's still alive. We're not going to talk about all that. But we are going to talk about the fact that there are scam claims with this. So let me show you the video here. I'm going to scroll down. This has signs of coming from Brazil. So if you're looking for information about Neurodyne, hopefully my video is the one-stop shop because this has scammy aspects all over it. Hit like down below to keep people away from stuff like this. That'll help my video rise in Google and YouTube search results. I'd really appreciate it.
Before mysteriously dying, my husband said he needed to tell me everything because he couldn't take the truth to the grave. That night, he told me everything. The real cause of Alzheimer's that has been exploding after 2020 is not age. It is not genetics. It is not the lack of brain exercises. It is a planned combination of three things that started being injected and sprayed on a massive scale starting in 2019.
So they're already getting into conspiracy territory here because that's the kind of buyer victim they're looking to seize on, the scammers are. And so what you're seeing here, David Muir, this woman, and Dr. Peter Attia, and anyone else you see here like Nora O'Donnell, anyone else famous or anyone really talking in this video is going to be a deepfake AI depiction, meaning manipulated lip movement with AI generated audio. No one famous ever talked about this. No one ever endorsed Neurodyne drops. And there are no positive reviews out there for this product. It's unclear where it's coming from, who the founder is, where the staff is. When you can't find those simple identifying details, that to me is not good. And you should not spend your money on this because then it might charge you subscription charges of hundreds of dollars a month. It could come with a money back guarantee that is not honored. Lots of bad stuff. I am someone who is a senior reporter during the day on Snopes.com, a fact-checking website. This is my personal YouTube channel you're watching right here, where I do additional reporting to help people stay away from scams, just as a public service, because I have a lot of knowledge of these scams and I want to do whatever I can to help people. So those are my credentials. Sometimes people are like, who are you? Who do you think you are? That's who I am.
Nanoparticulated microplastics that cross the blood-brain barrier in less than 4 hours. Graphene oxide from the vaccines that works as an antenna for controlled brain inflammation. Glyphosate at doses 400% higher in genetically modified foods approved in 2021. Together, they form a toxic crust that suffocates neurons. And Eli Lilly's own drugs like Aricept and Namenda were designed to never cross this crust. Because the longer you stay sick, the more money they make. My husband had the cure, a combination of 2 natural ingredients that dissolves this crust like acid on metal. In 19 days.
So they just showed what looked like blueberries and honey or something like that. That's what these scam videos do. And there are thousands of scam videos for thousands of different scam products out there. And this is not anything new. What they do, the scammers, they come up with a recipe that looks like, oh, I have that. That's blueberries and honey. What are the other ingredients? They never reveal all the supposed ingredients because there is no recipe. They tell you there's a recipe as a lie to hook you into watching their very long video on this website. That's the reason they're showing you that mixture. There is no mixture of blueberries and something else from your pantry that can help you reverse dementia, Alzheimer's, or something like that. I mean, that would be amazing. I wish that was true, but it's not. not. It's simple, and they want to fool people into believing that that is something that exists, so that then they get to the end of the video and they're like, oh, they put it in a product, these ingredients in a product called Neurodyne, and then maybe the people order it and the scammers win. And we don't want that to happen, of course.
Stage 7 patients started remembering their grandchildren's names. In 34 days, they were driving again. When he tried to publish the data internally, he received a mysterious call at 2 a.m. threatening him, saying he should make the research disappear or I would be a widow before Christmas. 2 months later, he died of a massive heart attack. I know it was not a heart attack. I fled the country with a hard drive he hid inside the lining of the family Bible. Today, I am leaking everything for free from a country where no one can find me. Just continue watching. If you are lucky, the forbidden video will start playing automatically. In this video, which is being taken down every 40 minutes, you will discover the 2 ingredients you already have in your kitchen right now and how to combine them to permanently eliminate microplastics from the body and cleanse the brain. Why all medications approved after 2020 deliberately make Alzheimer's worse. The list of the 7 healthy foods that most embed this crust into your brain every single day. Every time I put this video online, it is attacked on a massive scale. Eli Lilly, Pfizer, and the US government themselves are paying to take it down. So if you stay here in the video loads, you got lucky. Watch it until the end.
So this person who she's not actually talking, it's an AI voice, AI manipulated lip movement. They're promising you a lot of different things to try to hook you into watching the whole video. They're showing you blueberries and it looks like white sugar this time instead of honey. And they're saying, if you just stick with us, we're going to show you the recipe. And they do the same thing all these scam videos do, which tell you that Big Pharma is trying to shut us down, which no one likes Big Pharma, of course. So that's something you can be like, yeah, and you know, that they're trying to get your emotions. That's what scammers are doing with that. And there are other things I can't even remember that she being a robotic voice just said. And it just, none of this makes any sense. And my purpose is to stop you from making a purchase of anything like this. Again, you might ask me, well, is there something out there that does do what it claims? A recipe, a product that can reverse dementia or Alzheimer's. I understand having a family member. I don't understand because I don't have a family member with dementia or Alzheimer's, but I know that I don't know either, but you know what I'm trying to say. I don't want you to be victimized by this. Scammers don't care, apparently, whether or not your family members have Alzheimer's, dementia, or anything like that. They just want your money. So they prey upon people who are desperate, which says a lot about the scammers, doesn't it? It's really sad, very sad.
And write down the step-by-step, because tomorrow I will have to delete everything forever to protect my life. Just don't close this window under any circumstances and discover the truth before your husband, your father, or even you become the next massive heart attack on their list.
A new experiment conducted at Stanford University, authored by Dr. Peter Attia, has just overturned more than 60 years of consensus in the field of brain medicine.
I do believe that Dr. Peter Attia did appear months ago on 60 Minutes as a guest talking about various things. And so that's what they're using here. The scammers are using that video as a basis for their scam video. And they're manipulating Nora O'Donnell's lip movements and Dr. Peter Attia's lip movements to create other words that they never actually said. That's what's going on with this.
He has proven that amyloid plaques were never the cause of neurodegenerative diseases. They are merely the result. For families watching the long goodbye unfold, grieving for someone who is still alive, this isn't just news. It is validation that the real problem was being completely ignored. But most importantly, Dr. Attia and the Stanford team have documented the exact protocol that has the power to not only stop, but reverse decades of cognitive decline and memory loss. The numbers project that this discovery has the strength to effectively end the memory loss epidemic in America by November 2029.
Prescribing drugs like Aricept, Namenda, Leqembi, or Exelon should be a crime. You aren't treating the disease. You are just managing symptoms and funding the biggest corporate crime of the last 5 decades. Genetics is, at best, a secondary factor, and amyloid plaques are the result of the disease, not the cause. The true cause of the epidemic of brain fog and forgetfulness isn't in your DNA, and certainly not in your lifestyle. It is in our environment. Think about this. In 1960, before the popularization of color TVs and microwave ovens, Alzheimer's and dementia were a medical rarity. Today, it is so common that it strikes 1 in every 9 seniors. Our genes haven't changed in 60 years. What changed was our exposure. The electromagnetic pollution around us has increased more than 1 trillion times over.
That makes a lot of sense. Do social media and fast viral content contribute to this?
You can tell her lip movement doesn't even match, right? That is a bad, lazy-looking deepfake at best. And a lot of people might not realize that. So I'm here to point that out. That's my purpose.
Yes, but the problem isn't what you see on your screen, is what you don't see. Our neurons are extremely sensitive. They are electric wires up to 3,000 times thinner than a human hair. And right now, we are living 24 hours a day inside an invisible electromagnetic fog. 5G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, these are trillions of signals bombarding our brains nonstop. The human brain was not programmed to withstand this overload. And to make matters worse, the content they transmit through these signals is designed on purpose to addict your mind and shatter your attention, accelerating what is currently called brain rot. It is the perfect crime. Big tech overloads your neurons with this signal pollution to the point of failure. And when your brain finally starts to fail, Big Pharma magically appears with a solution.
In August 2024, Harvard University published an article on its portal confirming what the major tech corporations of Silicon Valley tried to suppress. Electromagnetic frequencies can, in fact, overload the brain and accelerate neurological degeneration.
All right, let's look that up. What does it say specifically? Yeah, and I just looked up that article to see if it's real, and it's not. So that tells you a lot about what you're seeing here. Harvard has nothing to do with Neurodyne or any sort of, we have a big solution for dementia and Alzheimer's to reverse the disease. Nothing like that. This is something that after you watch the very long video, if you watch the very long video, and I'm sorry if you do because it's very long, finally at the very end, it'll say you can get your complete memory repair kit, is what they call it. It's Neurodyne, little bottles of Neurodyne, a cognitive support formula that can supposedly improve focus, enhance memory recall, and provide mental energy. And after that, it'll have you go and buy that on ClickBank. It'll probably claim no auto ship, even though it probably will come with a subscription, and a whole lot of other bad stuff. My advice here is to, of course, not buy this and instead go see a doctor, because there are a lot of scam claims about this product Neurodyne. There is no recipe of blueberries or honey or sugar or any other ingredients in your pantry that can help you reverse Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss, brain fog, anything like that. The scammers are trying to get your money. That's exactly what's happening here. And they've been doing it for months. And who has been allowing the ads that allow these scams and the scammer scams to thrive in the first place? The advertising platforms. Facebook, Instagram, being Meta, of course, their parent company, TikTok, the website you see me on right here, outside of my little thing, the app you're in, right? Why would billion-dollar corporations, tech corporations, turn away money that people are trying to give them? They're just not going to do that at a large enough scale, at a substantial enough scale. They will then go as far as to ask you, the user, to find a button labeled report ad like you're on the payroll at Meta. It is insane, and the FTC will never do anything about it, I don't think, if I had to guess. No governmental authority, agency, law enforcement arm will ever hold these tech giants to account. We just have to do our best as people and consumers to stay away from these scams. Do not buy Neurodyne. Do not believe Dr. Peter Attia came up with some sort of brain memory health sort of a thing to reverse major conditions and diseases. He did not. Like, comment, subscribe, join button. Thank you for watching.